Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2025 Lexus LC500 Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description below. This LC is finished off in Cloudburst Gray. It has an MSRP just over $110,000. Now this is powered by the 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 471 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, where this also has active rear wheel steering. It weighs in around 4,300 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds with a top speed of 168 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21.7 gallons. You'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city, 24 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 113 inches. Its overall length is 187.4. It has a width of 75.6, a height of 53, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.2 inches. Now for the 25-year model, there's not a whole lot of changes. However, there have been front and rear underfloor bracing added for additional structural rigidity, and there's a few new color options available too. Now this 25 also has the dynamic handling package, so along with that rear wheel steering, it also features a carbon fiber roof and a few other goodies that I will go over. Now as we work our way to the exterior styling, this has a really nice front end look. You'll notice that the Lexus badge is also the sensor for distance pacing, and then there's the hourglass design for the grille with chrome for the entire surround. It's also weaved within the mesh of the grille itself. There is a forward-facing camera too, all of the parking sensors, and then a triple beam design for the headlights and high beams. The turn signal is separated along with the DRL. It has that crisp point to it right on the outside of the hourglass design for the grille. Now those points also work their way to the hood lines too, just to incorporate that and make it flow very nicely. Now as we work our way to the side, this has a very nice set of multi-spoke wheels with a two-tone finish to them. These are also 21-inch wheels, and then there's the gloss black brake calipers with the Lexus logo. Now there's also a 3-tone design for the power folding side mirrors. They have a camera and a turn signal. There's the carbon fiber roof, like I mentioned, along with some more chrome accents. And then very nice lines in the lower side skirt there, where there's also an active inlet behind the door. So there's that functional trim piece. And then again, with the dynamic handling package, you also get Alcantara for the interior. There's carbon fiber for the interior. You get the rear spoiler too, and a limited slip differential. And then taking a step back, this has a very distinctive look to it. Very subtle lines coming down the side, but just gives it a great classy look. Now in back, there's a backup camera just above the Lexus badge. There's also the active rear spoiler. There's LEDs for the taillights, and then the turn signals are separated just like up front in that vertical design. There's all of the parking sensors too, and then the exhaust with more gloss black in that lower diffuser there. Now as we work our way to the trunk space, you can use the button on the key fob or this hidden button tucked away on that right side. And with this open, I'd say you have a good bit of space. Now the back seats do not fold down, so this is all of the space that you get. You do have access to your battery up underneath the floor and maybe a little bit of storage if you needed it. But you have a good bit for this style vehicle, and then there's a grab handle over on that right side. Now as we work our way to the interior, you'll notice that this has a flush design for the door handles. So you can push from the front, gain access to the back here, and that is how you can open up this door. Now this door panel has a fantastic design to it with the red, the Alcantara, and the leather. There's also memory seating adjustments, power folding side mirrors, window controls, lock and unlock, and then storage in the lower section. Here's more of the carbon fiber for the door sill. And then take a look at the power operating front seats, finished off in red with a two-tone red as well, and then black leather too. Now there's a tab in the back, so you can release the backrest, and then the seat will work its way forwards, giving you access to hop into the back. Now, you're not buying the LC500 for a full 4-seater vehicle. As you can tell, that seat is all the way back right now. You could move that forwards for additional leg room. You do have some more leather in the middle, along with one speaker too. The entire headliner is finished off in Alcantara, and as you can tell at 5'10", I may be able to ride a few minutes around town. You could have some small kids in the back if you're looking for a practical sports car where you might be able to put in a car seat or something like that. But you have the seats for additional storage or for some people if you're just riding around town. You have a large window too, so that makes it nice for additional visibility. And then you do have to step over the carbon fiber door sill there, where we are greeted with a solid and perforated leather steering wheel. There's massive paddle shifters on both sides too, but let's fire this up now and take a listen to that V8. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll notice there's a temperature icon on the left side along with outside temperature. On the right side, there's another temperature icon along with the fuel level. Now to go through the rest of that information, you can go over to the left side of the steering wheel where there's also volume and Bluetooth and voice commands. And then using these arrows, you can start scrolling through this information. So you have a little bit within the tach itself where there's also miles per hour and what gear you are in. You can also see the position of the rear wing too. And then you can actually shift the entire tach to the right, where now you can pull up even more information. So you will be able to see some of the previous information that was shown within the middle of that tach, but you can also start to scroll left or right to get through the rest of this information, where you also have a lot of standard safety features that you can set up depending on how you would like this vehicle to react with all of the standard safety features. And then when you're done, just put that back to the middle. Now on the right side, there's mode and tuning, lane keeping assist, distance pacing, and the cruise control settings. Now to the left, there's odometer reset controls. There's also the fuel cap and trunk release, head-up display, which you can turn on and off. So with it on, it shows your RPM, miles per hour, what gear you're in, and the compass. There's also an air vent tucked away on that left side. And then there's two stalks coming off of the gauge cluster cover. The one on the left side is for traction control along with a snow mode. And then on the right side, you can go through a few different driving modes. There's Sport S and Sport S Plus. You have a normal or a custom setting, and then comfort and eco just by rotating the dial down. So that will help modulate the throttle response, and as you can tell, it will give you a really nice design for that tach. Now, working your way to the infotainment system, you do have some shortcuts on this left side, so you can go through all of these settings, just general information to customize. And then under vehicle, you can go in climate, where you have your front. You have some options that you can go into for that as well. You can get into your comfort for your heated and ventilated seats along with the heated steering wheel. You have some trip information too. And then you can pair your phone, get into music, and even pull up the navigation when you have that on and operating. Now there's one air vent underneath that, and then there's some physical controls for all of the climates. So you have fan speed, temperature, where you'd like the air to go, all of that information there. And then there's one cup holder, which you can hide away. And then you do have a shortcut to the camera system. So this is for the 3D system where you can look around the vehicle before you put it into drive or reverse, and then simply click on view to make that disappear. Behind that, you have tuning, power and volume, seek and track, and then you do have a shortcut to get into your heated and ventilated seats along with the heated steering wheel. Now, in order to put this into reverse, simply push the shifter to the left and up. It's going to go back into that normal position. But this is where you have the backup camera and the top-down view. There's also guidelines that you can adjust. Now you'll do the opposite motion to put it into drive, and then you do have to push on the view icon to pull up the forward-facing camera. Once you are in drive, just go straight back. That's how you can go over to the manual setting where you can shift using the paddle shifters. And then park is located just behind that. You also do get an e-brake. It's tucked up underneath the engine start-stop button. There's auto hold, the control for the rear wing, and then you have a little bit of storage in the middle where you can actually hide this away. So when you open up the center armrest, you have some auxiliaries located down below, and then you can slide this forwards for one seamless look or gain access to a little bit of storage there as needed. Now you do have to have this back in order to pull this lever to open up the center armrest. Now you can push on this control to gain access to the glove box where you have plenty of space. There's also more Alcantara on the back of the airbag cover. You have garage door buttons up top along with some dome lights. And then here's a look at visibility. You have large windows right there, so you really don't have big pillars over that right side. And then over the left side, you can easily see that way too. So as we set off behind the wheel now for the LC500, I have been able to drive this a little bit in the past, so I'm getting some more seat time behind the wheel, which is really nice because I think this is a fantastic luxury focused vehicle to buy that you really don't see all that often, at least in my opinion. I've only seen a handful of these out on the road, but I think it is a really nice vehicle when you get to drive it and really spend some time with this car. I think the biggest selling point with this Model 2 is the fact that it has the naturally aspirated engine, because not only does it sound good, but it's also going to give you that reliability with an exotic looking vehicle like this. This is something that you can own for 10 plus years and know that you are going to have a bulletproof and easy to maintain vehicle that's also very performance oriented. For this engine, it has a good amount of power for sure. 0 to 60 in the mid 4-second range is very respectable. However, it's not the fastest vehicle, at least for this pricing, but it's going to give you a very nice drive nonetheless. So with the LC500, you are definitely getting a luxury focused vehicle that can also do some performance style driving to it. Now, like I mentioned earlier, with the dynamic handling package, this also gets rear wheel steering. So in parking lot situations, that's going to be very beneficial. I'm not sure if at highway speeds, the rear wheels will turn with the front wheels to merge easier, to maneuver, kind of crab walk like that. But at least in parking lot situations, you can flip around very, very easily. But with the time that I've been able to drive the LC500s, this is definitely a luxury-focused vehicle. These seats are incredibly comfortable too. I like the bolster support that they have to offer. And this is a vehicle that you can daily drive. You're getting this exotic, almost supercar, but really nice sports car that you can just drive every single day. This is something that is going to ride well with its suspension. It's very comfortable and smooth, very quiet too. So racking up the miles on a car like this isn't even a concern or an issue. And I think that's another big selling feature with this Lexus model, is just the reliability of this. If you're looking to drop 6 figures on a luxury focused vehicle, this is one that's going to be at the top of the list in terms of reliability and just what it has to offer. It's a little bit simple on the interior, but it gives you everything that you need to drive this every single day, which is awesome to see. And so we have it in Sport Plus mode. I can't do a lot today with a brand new vehicle, but boy, does that sound good. So mild acceleration. What I really like about these NA engines from Lexus is that they really shine in the higher RPM range. We have a red line in this particular model right now, right around 7,000, 7,400. I believe once it's broken in, that will go higher. And so really the range that you want to drive this car, I'd say 4,000 to 6,000, you are really going to have some fun, and you get to play with all of the gears too. So while this has a 10-speed automatic, you can go through every gear if you're doing some back mountain roads, maybe 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and really have some fun with it. So the 10-speed doesn't really hurt being able to do that. And again, this really shines in the higher RPM range, which we won't be doing today, but you will also get a little bit quicker shifts too. So at slow speeds, there's a slight delay. I'm not going to knock it for that at all, but when you're doing some performance driving, it is really just going to be a fantastic vehicle to drive. And we are in a Sport S Plus 2nd gear. Here we go. And just a mild acceleration, and we're up to speed. This has so much more potential, of course, than what I'm doing today. And we also have the different driving modes as well. So just depending on how you want to drive this, if we put it into eco mode, you can still use the paddle shifters. However, there's going to be much more of a delay. The exhaust seems like maybe it gets a little bit quieter, kind of hard to tell, especially with a mild acceleration like that, but it is going to modulate your throttle response just depending on how you'd like to drive. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the LC500, one of the flagship models from Lexus that hopefully isn't going away anytime soon. I think this is a really kind of under the radar vehicle. Like I said earlier, I don't really see these too often out on the road, but when I do, it's something that's definitely unique to see, and from driving it, I know that this is a special car. So it would be nice to see more of these out on the road. It's a fantastic car if you are looking for an NA engine that is just going to sound really good and give you a reliable vehicle too. Now, like I mentioned earlier, with the active rear wheel steering, let's see if we can do this turn without having to back up. because we have a shorter turning radius, still going to be a little bit big of a car, it looks like, but the maneuverability is going to be just very easy for what I'll call a little bit longer of a coupe. We have a pretty long hood on this model, which you can kind of see the end of it there, so you can easily place it, but you have the camera system too to really help you out. And then let's get back up to speed here. Even the shifts just by itself are very quick too. You can hear a slight pop in that exhaust. So sounds good, drives great, and it's just a very nice coupe for the price. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Lexus LC500. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this coupe for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.